Gratitude makes sense of your past, brings peace for today, and creates visions for tomorrow. So one of the reasons there has been a large gap in videos, as many of you may know, I moved. What some of you may not know is that moving and the events that led up to and following my father's passing were cause for me to take time for myself and not only reevaluate my work life, but pretty much all of my priorities. I didn't want to come back to the channel without anything to say or burned out from trying to do too much at once or without purpose and direction. And that has to go with genuine purpose or direction. I wanted to get some of my other things on my to-do list out of the way and really figure out why I have this platform and what I wanted to do with it. After a few weeks at the new store and some new personal developments, I can honestly say that while I thought initially this channel would be just tutorials, honestly there are channels that do it way better than I do. And teaching art for me is super taxing mentally and I find boring to watch. So since I have a lot of people who just want to get to know me or look up to me in ways when they are going through their own hard times, I thought this would be a great topic to cover. I can relax and focus on my work. I don't have to worry about writing a script or a thesis every few weeks with a topic that I'm working on. I can just pick a topic and talk. And hopefully some of it inspires others, gets them through hard times, or is just something to get their mind off their things. I doubt I'm going to say anything that's earth-shattering or life-changing. Maybe just share some stories and some advice. So with that, I chose the following phrase that I recently found on a plaque in a store. Gratitude makes sense of your past, brings peace for today, and creates visions for tomorrow. Now, as some of you may know, my parents didn't support my art, and maybe some of you have no support system either. And in that way, you can relate to me. When I was a kid, I wanted to draw for Disney. I wanted to animate for Disney so bad I could taste it. I wanted to be a part of things that would inspire people and that could get them through hard times and that could have huge life arcs and be visually inspiring and would just be a game changer for some people. And there was a lot of Disney films that are like that for me. The Fox and the Hound is a real signature film for me, as is like The Lion King. I wanted to do so many things, and my parent didn't support me in almost any of them, which left me with no direction. If I said I wanted to go into art, I got, your sister wasn't good enough, and so you're never going to be good enough, based on my grades. If I wanted to go into wildlife research, that meant moving across the state, and I wasn't mature enough, and my father wasn't really down with the whole thought of me working for the DNR. Keep in mind, my father was a hunter, so he wasn't real fond of the DNR, which meant that he couldn't just shoot anything whenever he wanted to, including raccoons off the porch. There was just a lot of careers that in my junior and senior year of high school that I was interested in either science fields or in art fields, and no matter how many different ways I brought it up or how many different fields I brought it up, apparently my parents didn't feel like I was good enough to pursue them, or that it was a smart financial investment, which made me feel, I'm not gonna lie, it made me feel like shit. And maybe there's some younger listeners who are kind of in the same spot, where there's something they really want to do and they dream of doing, and they have no support in it. They've been told a dozen times that they're just not good enough in it, and hopefully this will kind of help. There's a lot of things that I wanted to do, and with my parents not supporting me on any of them, I didn't have any directions, and I hated them for a very long time for continually comparing me to my sisters. But not having direction made me work for myself rather than working to please them. It made me appreciate the journey that got me to where I am, even if at the time I didn't realize that was the road that I was on. Nothing got handed to me, which made me want to fight for being the person that I am rather than catering to other people to make them happy. It made me dig in to find out how to make it work without a degree, without support, and later without support or a spouse. Essentially, I had to learn how to do things on my own. When I was a kid, because of a large age gap and a huge social gap, I really wasn't allowed to have friends growing up, and I hated that my sisters got to go join soccer and pom-pom, gymnastics, and go on dates. They went to dances and got to have parties with all their friends, got to be part of some exchange student program, go far away from mom and dad's and be their own persons. Every time I brought something up that I wanted to do, it got shot down with, I didn't have time, or we didn't have money, or your sisters already did that, I'm not doing it again. I was forced to stay at home and entertain myself, be quiet, and try not to get in trouble. Guess what? Bored kids get in trouble. I grew up being the weird kid, the bothersome little sister, in an era where kids were better not seen and, well, for me, not heard. And I grew up resentful of my sisters and my parents. my sisters went to college, they were supported. I was dictated a major based on my sister's choices and failures. Not being allowed to be my own person, or any taste of what the real world was like, caused me to strike out on my own. Not speaking to my parents for almost 2 years. This is a major event that comes back after my father dies as a stake to try to put me down with. Honestly, life was nothing like what they said. And yet it was everything like they said, but just not in the way they taught me. Here's some examples. I dreamed of working for Disney. Hindsight being 2020, if I worked for Disney, it would have ruined my taste for drawing and art, and very dangerously probably would have lost my taste for storytelling and the movie industry. Not every place that isn't home is bad. Not everyone in Chicago is out to kill you. There's a difference between having a drink and being an alcoholic. A lot of what happened when I was a kid was toxic, no doubt, but it taught me to look past what looks like the perfect Disney front and see what's really going on. And just like in art, there's very rarely a case where everything is in all black and white. There is just no straight good or all evil. You rarely know the sides of every story, and your perspective is only one side of the coin. In that case, yeah, Obi-Wan was right. There are good guys in the world that you can make real friends with, that are there for you and not for your paycheck or what you can get for them. Love is something without color, creed, religion, or political doctrine, and you should never have to pay for love in deeds, grades, appearance, occupation, or finance. As time went on, I not only detached from my parents, but also felt a little pity for them. That the beliefs that had strangled me as a kid kept my mother from some simple pleasures, like security. The security of knowing her husband loved her and would never leave her, and the security of knowing that not everybody was out to harm her, and that fear kept her at home. It wasn't until my father passed and a video that I saw, link in the description below, brought a new perspective and understanding to him. That because of his upbringing, because of his past, that we were never able to connect the way we did when I was a kid. his perspective of me had changed, and so his treatment of me had changed. That the gap was due to things he didn't understand, and I don't fully either, but that the difference is the security in myself and trying the unknown rather than to enslave myself to inauthenticity. Basically, I'm not going to stop being who I am in order to please somebody else or to make sure I have a paycheck. And then after seeing Ghostbusters Afterlife, I decided I had something to say. You see, when I try to connect and do as a good daughter does, and spend time with my sisters, I don't fit in. There are too many people, and I can't help but to think that we're back to a time of my life when my life is better than yours because of and dut. An endless badgering stream of you didn't do this and don't deserve this and your job sucks and you're an embarrassment, look how you dress, look at your hair. Many of us have family like this. But the one that really hurts is when they bring up Dad. Because there was that void that we could never cross. A bridge that was never mended. But I mention all this because at the end of the day, it's all true. I didn't have the relationship my sisters had with them, nor my mom. They were my own. And I feel sorry for the fact that they didn't have what I had with my mom at the end. And I kind of wish I had what they had with Dad. And I have to wonder how genuine it was. How much of their relationship was pandering to keep him happy, to keep them in his good graces. And in that way, I think some of the hostility is that I didn't sacrifice who I was and what I wanted out of life to please someone else. And maybe they did. Maybe that's where the hostility comes from. The resentment. I don't know. When my dad died, I know he didn't want a headstone or a plot. He didn't want us to go to the cemetery for years to visit a piece of granite that money is better spent elsewhere. Besides, I won't be there to care if you did. But they got one anyway. Because what else are they going to do with the ashes? And I go through the motions with them, but I stay back from it. Separate. There to honor their wishes, but honestly, I don't want to be part of it. They're not my relationships, and they're not my wishes. I brought up Ghostbusters because at the end, spoiler, Egon is brought back as a spirit to assist in the final battle. A nice tribute to Harold Ramis, no doubt. But it's also a reminder that I feel is needed in saying, you don't know everyone's whole truth. You may know a good chunk of it, but there will always be bits and pieces you don't know. Even if someone is sharing their truth with you, listen with compassion. Because there's rarely any all good or all bad in the world. You may find yourself understanding and even relating to someone you didn't bother to know or understand. So for that, I'm grateful for being able to understand how my past made me who I am, and how the things that hurt me when I was younger make me stronger today, and how those things help me to let others know that there may be a better tomorrow, even if they don't see it for themselves.